Alright, this is going to be some long form content, an update on the 8.1 Allison Square Body Swap. This wire controls the pitch of our Allison cross member. We've made some square stock. We've installed some square stock supports that go inside the frame. It's supported by 6 bolts, 4 from the sides and 2 from each bottom. We've got our makeshift plumb bob there to mark the center, and so that part is in progress. Once we get it shortened again to put the square stock on the 1/4 inch stock on each end. Right now it's just resting there. That's kind of a friction fit. We'll cut it down again. We'll make the 1/4 inch plates fit, so it's going to actually, that will bolt into these square tubing. That will bolt into the square tubing. We'll get that part in. We'll actually mock up, and we're actually going to hang the engine and the transmission inside this frame. We'll probably even set our pinion angles roughly, because this frame is different wheelbase than my frame. But we're going to try to, well, I can actually do that. I'm going to actually get the pinion angle off of my frame, both the transmission and the rear end, and verify that we got it close enough. And then we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna hang the engine and transmission next. That's coming very soon. What we also need to hang that engine in there is these manifolds bolted to that engine. Right now the 8.1 still has the factory 8.1 exhaust manifolds. They will not fit inside these frame rails. We'd have to notch a good chunk out of the frame rail to make those fit. We do have the fuel pump in the tank. Currently we do not have gas in the tank, but we do have the fuel lines mocked up. What else do we have? We got those Corvette manifolds. It came with exhaust gaskets. I'm going to go ahead and use the Molly gaskets. We have Bosch O2 sensors. Let's move my welding helmet out of the way. And then we have Felpro. This is a universal 8.1 intake manifold gasket. It will work with the early and the late manifolds. So that should fit. That's a good quality gasket set. We also have a proper inch-pound torque wrench so we can torque the intake manifold properly. Here's our Allison transmission. We have just talked about torquing the intake manifold. We also need to make a shift mechanism. I'm thinking of something that kind of looks like the low car, where it's going to be above the transmission, have some linkage and linkages instead of a cable. And that is currently in park. It goes up for each. Let me double check. So yes, so that would be park. Let's start over. Park. Neutral. Well, we already made it past neutral. Reverse. Nope. Park. Reverse. Neutral. Drive. And then all the lower sequential drive gears. We still have a ratchet strap holding the torque converter in. Another thing to make is, that is the park brake. Right there, park lever. And this is a brake drum. There's output sensor, mid sensor, and input sensor for the Allison. So, yep, got plenty of stuff going on here. That beautiful big old 8.1 will be in the truck very soon. Right now, we have an oil cooler bypass line here. That line and another line will actually go to an oil cooler that I have. We have our ECU. What we're still missing is the TCU for the Allison transmission. That's one of the next major parts I still need to order. And once this is actually in the frame of the actual truck, we'll be able to measure for a rear drive shaft. And that will be, so we'll have a TCU by the time we try to drop this in the truck, and we'll get a drive shaft made locally. So in the very near future, expect to see this hanging in the frame of that that 1-ton frame right there. And we'll probably just slap that tank on here and start the whole thing up. Minus, of course, the TCU. We won't be able to put it in gear because we won't have a drive shaft for this chassis either. So that is your weekly long form update on the 8.1 Allison swap, guys. Y'all behave. We'll see you soon.